Hey y'all, Luke here with RO-BERG Concrete Repair Specialist, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the differences and similarities of bulkheads and retaining walls. Now the difference between a bulkhead and retaining wall is the bulkhead you're going to find where there's water involved, so where one side is dirt and the other side's water. And the retaining wall is where you find that one side is dirt and the other side is nothing, air. So there's that elevation difference that we're trying to retain that dirt behind the wall. Now retaining walls and bulkheads can be built out of a few different items. So you can have one that's built from wood, you can have one built with vinyl, and one that's built from concrete. Alright, so let's talk about a bulkhead. So a bulkhead, it can be around the ocean, it can be around a lake, pond, and you have a structure, whether it be vinyl, wood, or concrete, that's retaining the dirt but preventing water from going into the dirt. Now with that bulkhead, you can have a lot of issues where maybe the water has penetrated the surface, whether it be any of those items, or on the other side you could have excess amount of rain, poor drainage, and that soil becomes washed out behind that bulkhead. So for concrete bulkheads, there's an homage that says, concrete does two things: it's going to get hard and it's going to crack. And that's the same thing for the concrete that you put in for a bulkhead. Unfortunately, as those cracks that happen in bulkheads allow water to penetrate behind the bulkhead where the soil is, saturate the soil, make it weak, and in most cases it's going to, as the water goes in and out of that crack with tides or waves, then a lot of that dirt is going to be pulled through that crack and it's going to leave a void behind the wall. Now not just concrete bulkheads that could have issues, it could be the vinyl or a wooden bulkhead. Because water is going to get in there, it's going to pull that dirt out. Now on the other side of the wall, you have, if you got poor drainage, then a lot of that water can sit on the dirt and make the soil soft, and then put a lot of weight up against that bulkhead. So some common signs that you may notice that if you are having some issues would be behind the bulkhead, kind of like immediately behind the bulkhead, you're going to start seeing the yard or the soil go down. So you'll have some low spots that maybe weren't there before, any kind of water that's holding, anything that's really soft when you're walking back there and you notice that, okay, hey, this is a little bit softer than normal. Or if you have any concrete that's up against the bulkhead, if you start noticing that concrete starting to crack, or if you're able to see underneath that concrete from the side and you start noticing that a lot of the soil is missing. So if you experience that, or if you see that, then number one thing to do is to hopefully you call RO-BERG Concrete Repair Specialist. If not, then reach out to a trusted concrete repair guy to come back, do an inspection of the wall, and see what they can do to help you fix it. How we fix it is we use polyurethane foam. We inject it at different elevations, and as that foam expands and travels, it seals the cracks and it fills the voids. Now let's talk about retaining walls. Retaining walls are just like bulkheads, except there's no water. So all your pressure is being put from the soil behind it. So if there's not much drainage that was installed behind it, you could have some issues where you're starting to see the wall lean a little bit. So leaning could happen. It could also crack if it's concrete. You could see water kind of penetrating through after a rain. So best practices there is always, maintain the soil behind that retaining wall so it slopes. If it was built, or if it wasn't built with some kind of a French drain system behind the wall, it's never too late to kind of dig back there and put one in, prevent that water from putting a lot of pressure up against that wall. Now, much like the bulkheads, We do work to concrete walls as well, where we will do crack repairs and injections. We also do void fill behind that wall, so if there's any erosion that's happened, we are able to get back there with our polyurethane foam, inject it into the ground, fill those voids and seal those cracks. So to wrap it up, if you start noticing cracks, if you start seeing low spots, soft spots, water coming in where water shouldn't be, or if you notice that your concrete next to your bulkhead is starting to crack, or if there's any visible voids under that concrete, that's the perfect time to reach out to us so we can take a look at it and see what we can do to help you fix it. Now, if you start noticing stuff like this around your retaining wall or maybe your neighbor's retaining wall, it'd be a really good time to reach out to us. Let us take a look at it, see what we can do to help you. Again, the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. This is Luke with RO-BERG Concrete Repair Specialist.